Anyone could look back at my life before I met my wife and save it. I'm not seeing anything. Noah Brown was. A lot of people thought that the Alaskan reality TV show had the best group and characters. They had no idea that fights were going on in public and behind closed doors. But some people thought it was all planned. This video. We'll talk about Noah Brown's 5 least liked Alaskan bush people and explain why he didn't like them. 5th, Rain Brown, the lost little sister. Noah Brown's little sister is Rain Brown. People used to call her Merry Christmas. Catherine Raindrop Brown. She was the crazy artist of the Alaskan bush people. Her fans loved her because she was creative, sensitive, and pure. But Noah Brown says that her claimed innocence died a long time ago, and what's left is someone he sees as very dangerous, manipulative, and completely crazy. It really breaks my heart. This time, though, Noah isn't talking out of sadness. He's talking out of anger, disgust, and even betrayal. You might understand why after seeing what's happened between these two. Let's go back to the first time things went wrong. Rain's feelings had always been a little weak. This person was the youngest in the Brown family. After their father, Billy Brown, died, she seemed to snap a lot. Even though Noah had already cut himself off from his family's drama to protect his wife, Rain, and their kids, he saw some scary changes in Rain. Noah said that Rain didn't just fall into sadness or depression. She started abusing drugs at some point. This isn't about smoking a little weed or having a drink once in a while. Noah said she used meth, cocaine, drank a lot of alcohol, and acted in strange ways that could no longer be explained by mental stress. Noah painted a clear picture of a sister who was engulfed in addiction and darkness in court papers for a restraining order. He said she wasn't just hurting herself, but also putting other people at high risk of being hurt. Keep in mind that this wasn't a family fight over land or an inheritance. Because he was afraid of Rain's influence, Noah went to court to get a court order to keep Rain away from his close family. He didn't want her to be near them at all because he didn't want to take any chances. He said she kept showing up without being asked, making trouble, making threats, and even messing with their mom's medicine. Yes, the same mother who is having health problems and is said to be being controlled by a daughter who is losing control. Not only that, but Rain's husband Josiah Lorton also got caught up in the same mess. Noah was worried about the safety of his family because he thought she were their mother's health. It's said that she visits properties at random and won't admit the damage she's doing. These are not the acts of someone who is just sad. They are clear signs that someone is going downhill and pulling other people down with her. It's not just Noah's word against hers either. He has police records, screenshots, and witnesses to back up many of the things he says. The police have been involved more than once. It's not just family trouble. There is a full-blown family problem going on behind the scenes of a TV family that used to be loved. The last thing Noah said about the Rain was, "I wish I could protect her from herself, but I have to protect my family first." That's not just sad, it's very bad. So now we have the pieces of a friendship between siblings that broke in a terrible way. It's even more troubling to think about how long they tried to hide it by saying they were trying to stay alive in the wilderness and keep the family together. Rain Brown, who used to be the Brown kids' sweetheart, is no longer welcome in Noah's life. If you thought that was the worst thing that could happen, just wait until you hear who comes next. 4th, Amy Brown, the mother who let the crazy things happen. Now let's talk about Amy Brown, the mother, the strong woman, the grandmother with an iron will. There was a woman who said she kept the Brown family together through bushfires, harsh winters, and cancer treatments. But when you take away her soft-spoken demeanor and the perfect image of a saintly person carefully chosen by TV producers, you see someone who is very different, at least in Noah's eyes. Someone knew her as an enabler, a liar, and a woman who smiled on camera while her family fell apart on the inside. This is the thing that makes Noah the most sick. Don't forget that Noah was there for Amy when she was fighting stage 4 lung cancer. He flew back, took a stand, and gave up some things. He even stopped living on his own at one point to help take care of her. At the time, He loved his mother deeply, honestly, and no matter what. However, something changed. There was a very bad event. Noah says that Amy stopped going along with him when he started to call out dysfunction, especially Rain's claimed drug use and bad behavior. She was more on Rain's side. The mother, who had asked for peace and healing, was now choosing to stay quiet instead of speaking the truth and stopping her daughter from falling further and further. It is said that she ignored it, made reasons, and told Noah not to worry too much. Amy was a parental, very angry when he filed for a restraining order against Rain. It wasn't because his daughter was making threats, but because his son was trying to protect his family. What's worse than that, really? When her child begs and cries for help, what kind of mother decides to gaslight him instead? Noah has hinted in a number of posts and conversations that Amy not only ignored his worries, but also tried to bring him down. She is said to have invited Rain over, even after the restraining order drama started, understanding full well that it would cause stress and be a danger to Noah's wife and kids. Take a moment to think about it. It's important for your son to keep his home, wife, and children safe. And you, as his mother, choose to let the chaos happen instead of controlling it. That's not just lying. Really, really hard to handle that amount of emotional abuse. Then the charges came out, which shocked the fans. Noah said that Amy had started to lose her self-control, both mentally and behaviorally. He said she wasn't regularly taking the medicines she was supposed to be taking. She always showed signs of being mentally unstable. It got even worse when Noah said she was clearly high on Rain. This suggests she may have been using drugs in the house, or at least not caring about it. Noah, the son who once fought to save his mother, now says in public that he thinks she's either being manipulated or is helping her daughter fall into a downward spiral. It looks like it would be hard to understand everything. It's really disgusting and breaks my heart. But here's the catch. Amy didn't say anything against it. She didn't say anything to show that none of what Noah said was true or false. There was no post, news release, or word from her for a long time. Her silence said a lot. Some fans are still standing up for Amy. The people around her say she's sad, sick, and confused. But being sad or sick isn't an excuse for letting bad behavior happen. Now Noah doesn't believe it because he's been there and seen it for himself. Away from the Discovery Channel's smooth cuts and soft music that were used to hide the chaos. Let's talk about how people see her for a moment. There is nothing wrong with Amy Brown in the eyes of some Alaskan Bush people fans. The warrior mother and spiritual boss of the family with a strong will. But as more family drama comes to light, it's getting harder to match that picture with the one Noah paints. His idea of her is one who avoids taking care of things, favors some people over others, and would rather hold on to a falling fantasy than face the ugly truth she helped make. She helped. Amy didn't just stand by and let problems happen. She protected it on purpose. By doing this, she turned off the one son who was brave enough to tell everyone about it. It was funny that Noah never tried to hurt the family. He wished to keep it. He wanted people to see the truth so that they could start healing right away. But when he wouldn't keep quiet, he turned against them. In this kind of family, there's a word for moms like Amy. Helper is the word. And someone who doesn't care about the problem isn't the worst kind of supporter. The worst kind of supporter is someone who makes the person who tells the truth feel bad. The person who says you're dividing people by speaking out, or that they are the problem. That everything would be fine if you just shut up. Noah didn't stay quiet, though. He was done with that game for good. He has been shut out because of that. She turned him down and treated him badly, even though she had kissed him goodnight under the Alaskan stars before. Because of this, Noah doesn't hate Amy because he never loved her. She is one of the 5 people he hates the most. He loved her very much, and when love is broken, it makes you feel disgusted. Noah was no longer trying to fix things. He's had enough of lying, hurting, and waiting for people to say sorry, which never happened. He has a new family now, with his wife and children, and the work they've made away from the cameras and the nasty memories of Browntown. He's also drawn a clear line to protect that peace. and Amy is on the other side of it. Third, Josiah Lorton, the outsider who walked in and added fuel to the fire. Something that bothers Noah Brown more than a bad brother is a stranger who comes into a family that is already broken and makes things seem even worse. That's what he thought Josiah Lorton did after all. A lot of people who watched Alaskan Bush. People never knew much about Josiah. He showed up quietly, without any camera attention, as Rain Brown's mysterious husband. He was a character who mostly stayed out of sight. On the other hand, Josiah turned into something much worse in Noah's life, away from the Discovery Channel writing rooms. The last blow. He didn't want this guy to be near his family at all. Noah said that this man was never meant to be a part of this family. Let's say what it is. Josiah didn't just marry into the Brown family. He married into its chaos. Noah says that instead of helping Rain get her mental health under control or recover from her drug problems, Josiah became her enabler, shield, and partner in crime. Things became worse as soon as Josiah came into the picture. There is evidence that Josiah not only ignored Rain's bad behavior, but also joined her in it by heavy drug use, including meth and alcohol, according to Noah. And these aren't small claims. These are the kinds of claims that lead to welfare checks, police reports, and court investigations. Noah started all of these things in a last-ditch effort to protect his mother, his children, and himself. Let's say you've already cut off a sister because she makes threats and tries to control you. You begged your mom to stop giving her what she wants. Is it possible for things to get any worse? Then a guy you barely know marries your unstable sister and moves in to reportedly arm himself, store weapons, and watch out for you like you're a threat. And that's exactly what Josiah means to Noah, a man who came into the family already nervous and with a survivalist mindset fueled by fear. Many times, Noah has said that he was afraid that Josiah had guns, was unstable emotionally, and could be dangerous to Rain and anyone else who tried to confront her, even himself. The most scary thing was that no one in the family seemed ready to stop. Rain was no longer the only one falling. When Rain and Josiah got together, they were both impulsive, allegedly abusing drugs, and defiant. One of the most upsetting parts was when Noah said that Josiah was have gotten in the way of medical care for Amy, Noah's sick mother. It was said that Rain and Josiah were both messing up Amy's medications and health needs. Because he was scared and angry, Noah asked for a welfare check on Amy and told the police about Josiah's appearance and strange behavior in the house. That alone made Noah very angry. What really drove him crazy was how Josiah got involved in family issues that were not his business. Noah has said many times that Josiah, who was clearly not part of the family, started to control how Rain talked to the rest of them by acting as a gatekeeper, listening in on talks, and even making threats. Families often have problems with their in-laws, especially in places with a lot of stress like this one. But this isn't just a weird situation at Thanksgiving dinner. Noah sees this man as a clear and present danger to his mother, his children, and the few things that are left of the Brown family heritage. Still today, Noah won't see Josiah as anything more than a stranger with a ring. He doesn't see himself as family, and never has been. He's just a dangerous force that got into a house that was already on fire. He didn't grab a hose. Instead, he lit another match. When someone comes into your life and makes things worse, you feel a certain kind of disgust. In Noah's world, Josiah Lorton truly deserves that name. He's not as well known to the public, but he's a big part of the reason why Noah finally left. Second, Bear Brown, the brother who lies about being faithful, but doesn't really believe it. Bear Brown, the so-called king of extreme, is the Brown family member who loves to talk about family, loyalty, and sticking together through good times and bad. He is always running naked through the woods, growling about survival, honor, and loyalty. But what is he really like when you take away the acting? In the eyes of Noah Brown, it's just a loud, hollow echo from someone who has failed at the very things he preaches. Bear has spent so many years of his life making himself out to be the brave defender of the Brown name. the brother who was high on energy and had a strong will. He loved his family very much. But as the public's view of the Brown family started to break down, Bear's mask came off too. And Noah, the brother who always tried to stay out of trouble, has had enough. That's right. Noah is completely disgusted. Bear's actions and silence, as well as his lack of courage and refusal to speak out when it counted, made them feel terrible. When we look more closely at the hypocrisy, we can see that when it rained, people were caught up in what Noah called a dangerous cocktail of meth, alcohol, and delusion. Bear didn't talk to her or step in. He didn't look out for their mom. Bear didn't pay attention to it because he thought it was just family conflict and thought Noah was exaggerating. Noah wasn't only upset about mean texts and birthdays he missed. He was getting protection, or